My child, grasp this truth firmly. Those who wish to bring you low could not possibly see the sacred preparation unfolding within you. The difficult times you experienced were not without purpose. They were a precise process of deep inner readying. What looked like a pause or a setback was truly a season of intense personal formation. You were not kept down, my beloved one. You were laying a solid groundwork. Now the situation has changed entirely. You do not require outside approval. Your very being speaks for itself. The moment of change has come. The fight is over, and what they tried to stop is now coming to pass with my sure hand, far from their grasp. Those who spoke of your downfall are now asking how you did this. The ones who ridiculed your calm approach are now stunned by your swift rise. If quiet endurance was meant to be your ruin, you would have collapsed long ago. Know this, my child. They thought you would break apart. Yet you built a resilient spirit from the very challenges you faced. Their whole aim was for you to crumble. They watched you intently, testing your resolve silently, waiting for life's weight to finally overwhelm you. They hoped hardship would break you, difficulties would undo you, and disloyalty would taint your spirit. But what they never imagined was that you would turn that very suffering into something mighty. You did not just endure, you advanced. While they spoke poorly of you in secret, you were silently strengthening your inner being. While they passed their verdicts, you were settling into your truest convictions. You were never inactive, my cherished child. You were observant, gaining wisdom, adjusting, mending, gathering quiet triumphs. You were exploring your own spirit, becoming someone they would not recognize, not to please them, but because your trials required your change. They thought the chaos would overcome you, but it purified you. Your sadness showed you the way. Your quiet time alone became a place of profound insight. You navigated through difficult times without outside help, without a clear map, and with no certainties. Here is the vital point. They assumed denying their help would cause your downfall. Instead, you found a power within yourself they never knew existed. You prospered despite their lack of concern. You rose without their recognition. You flourished right where they intended to hold you back. They misunderstood you, believing power was expressed loudly, but your strength has always been calm, deep, and intentional. You did not participate in their commotion. You reacted by rising above. This is why your journey was successful. You did not stoop to their standard. You rose beyond it. Now they watch in disbelief, because it is evident your advancement was not just good luck. You converted every challenge into a useful gain. You learned to construct again without holding grudges. This triumph is unique. It did not arise from engaging in disputes or compelling results. It emerged from building an inner sanctuary during hardship, doing so with such silent determination that they presumed you were failing. Now they understand. Whatever approach you took, it was effective, and you did not just succeed. You reshaped the whole situation. My child, you did not overcome because you fought more fiercely. You overcame because you chose not to become like them. You did not achieve victory by being the loudest, the most flashy, or the most hostile. You won because you stayed firm when everything around you aimed to make you resentful. They aimed for your tranquility, your standing, your self-assurance, employing every misleading method to pull you down to their standard. But you did not yield to their challenges, and that is exactly why they were unsuccessful. They wanted you to crumble, to lower yourself, to strike back in their fashion. They required you to react as they would so they could excuse their own conduct. But instead, you held fast to your authenticity and preserved your honor. You decided not to become the very thing that brought you suffering. And that demands a rare kind of fortitude. That is not frailty. That is regulated might. They imagined they were in a battle, but you were not involved in their contest whatsoever. You were restoring yourself. You were guarding your inner essence. For if you had replied in the same way, they would have branded you as resentful. If you had revealed their deeds, they would have called you trivial. If you had battled them, they would have proclaimed, "Look, they are just like us." But you stayed on the course you chose. You conducted yourself with poise. You allowed your development to speak more forcefully than any negative remark ever could. You had no need to plan cunningly, mislead, or undermine anyone to reach your present standing. You opted for uprightness instead of public praise, dignity instead of empty chatter, clear aim instead of vanity. This is rare, which is why they could not anticipate your ascent. They assumed you were inactive, but in reality you were perceptive, watchful, comprehending. You observed how individuals conducted themselves when they believed you were exposed. You allowed them to show their true nature, and then you simply moved out of their grasp. You permitted outcomes to develop for them while you concentrated on your next stage. And now you have arrived, your inner essence fully intact. That is why this victory is already secured for you. For while they were attempting to gain a single advantage, you were becoming the sort of individual who could embrace the entire course. My beloved child, they interpreted pauses as failure, but you were being privately readied for your advancement. They supposed that because nothing outwardly impressive was taking place around you, nothing meaningful was happening inside you. You were not being unnoticed, you were being made prepared. People often overlook that genuine breakthroughs do not declare themselves with noise. They develop silently, in hidden spaces, where no one is clapping, no one is observing, and no one witnesses the inner triumphs. And that is precisely where your authentic power was shaped, not in public view, but in quietude. While they sought outward notice, you were undergoing refinement for significant influence. They perceived your stillness and misinterpreted it as a lack of progress. They did not comprehend that certain victories demand tranquility, not disruption. What appeared to be a hindrance was, in truth, my sacred design. I carefully arranged every detail for you, my child. Your inner self, your way of seeing things, your personal boundaries, your clear understanding, all were placed just right. A blessing received too soon can feel like a heavy weight. But you kept going, my beloved, even when the way ahead was unclear. You have truly grasped a vital lesson. As your spirit found its natural flow, you felt less need to speak loudly or convince anyone. The deeper your quiet strength grew within, the less you felt a need to argue or prove your worth. This is when your genuine power emerged. What seemed like a halt in your journey was actually a time of deep inner focus. You stopped engaging in conflicts that were never meant for you. The opportunities now appearing before you are not a result of desperate pleas or forceful efforts. They open because you are finally ready. Those who once overlooked you are beginning to see your true influence. You did not miss your moment. It was simply waiting for you to step into your complete self. This is why your efforts now bring good results. You stopped watching the clock and instead trusted the unfolding of my design. And now that this inner change has taken place, the truth is plain to see. Any wrong ideas others held about you were simply mistaken. The pause did not lessen you. It shaped you into who you are meant to be. My child, you have truly mastered how to face difficulties without complaint. You walked through challenging times, yet you did not seek attention for your struggles. You did not cry out for others to witness your pain, nor did you make your hurt a public display. While many would stumble when things fall apart, you stood firm, even with trembling hands, and chose to lift yourself up. This shows a strength beyond their understanding, my beloved one. You felt every sharp sting of betrayal, heard every untruth, and lived through disappointments, delays, and quiet battles that no one applauded. Yet, you never asked for pity. You did not display your suffering to gain sympathy. You did not just experience hurt. You learned from it. Others watched, expecting you to break. They mistook your quietness for giving up. They did not know the deep work you were doing within yourself. You were facing inner hurts that would have overwhelmed most. You did not avoid the difficult steps, nor did you numb your feelings. You sat with them. That is why you are not weighed down by bitterness, nor are you superficially healed. You have done the genuine work. While they mocked or ignored you, you were quietly rising above the very image of you they thought they had diminished. They sought to break you, hoping you would return to them in weakness. They expected you to collapse under the weight of it all. But you did not fall apart, my child. You rebuilt piece by piece, with me at your side. This sets you apart. You turned inward, and there, the profound change happened. It was not a rescue from outside, but a deep inner knowing. You do not need to explain yourself. The calm you carry reveals much. This is why your journey has been so impactful. And now they are puzzled, for you have not become fragile. You have become more determined. You did not waste your precious energy trying to settle old scores. You held back from sending hidden messages or engaging in public displays of anger. You did not speak names or spread information just to prove a point. You remained silent when it was most painful, and that stillness was not weakness. It was a sign of your inner strength. You did not have to expose those who wronged you. The unfolding of life itself brought their actions to light. The very people who sought to lessen your spirit are now struggling to maintain the false picture they created. And the most remarkable part is that you made no move to cause their decline. You allowed time to reveal all things. You trusted me to handle what your voice did not need to say. You could have brought everything crashing down. You had every right to, my beloved one, but you chose inner peace over small acts of retaliation, and that choice changed everything. While their focus was on pulling you down, you were being drawn higher by my hand. That is the kind of elevation no falsehood can stand against. The truth is, you were never trying to gain their approval. You held a clear sense of your identity, even as they attempted to define you otherwise. And now, your life is beginning to show the deep knowing you always held. You do not have to explain what happened. They wished for you to lose your composure and act from raw emotion. They wanted you to appear guilty, unstable, or narrow-minded. But you did not fall into that trap. You guarded your spirit, and that protection led to your progress. And now, those who once misunderstood you are witnessing the truth unfold before their very eyes. You did not need revenge. You needed time, inner development, and elevation. And once these three aspects came together, everything that was hidden became clear without you saying a single word. That is why you have prevailed, my child, because you did not let pain stop you. You allowed your true purpose to lift you higher. My precious child, to many around you, it seemed as though you had lost your way. You were less visible than before, and you kept your thoughts more to yourself. You grew quiet, held back, and became still. To them, this signaled trouble. They thought you were weakening, failing, or giving up. But what they couldn't grasp was that you were precisely within the flow of my unfolding design. And that design often makes little sense to those whose spirits are not listening to mine. You needed to act in a new way, my child, not because you wished to appear mysterious, but because what you held within needed protection. Each step had to be guided by me, not forced by your own effort. Every limit you set needed to be placed with clear intent, not explained for the acceptance of others. You could not afford distractions. You could not continue with old habits and still expect new beginnings. They didn't understand the change in you. They didn't see the path I laid out for you. They couldn't grasp the quiet strength it took not to respond or defend or try to show them anything. You moved without fanfare because outside noise would have pulled you from my will. That is why they still don't understand now. My child, the journey you walk often seems odd to others. What happens in your life doesn't match their ideas of success. You didn't chase recognition. I brought it to you. You didn't force your way. I cleared the path ahead. This makes no sense to those who only see with human eyes. My gifts seldom fit their hopes, my beloved one. They aren't built on human reason. You show that my work cannot be fully understood by the world. It simply reveals itself over time. And when my work is plain, it requires no lengthy words. It speaks for itself. You didn't take the road they expected. You took the one I pointed to. Even when it felt like you were still, you kept going. That is why things came to be. That is why you overcame. Because you relied on a plan far grander than their narrow sight. And now, the result leaves them puzzled. My cherished child, your quiet understanding was a power they missed. They thought they were always one step ahead. They believed their efforts to mislead you. Their quiet words and their hidden tricks would disturb your peace. They imagined they could distort facts, stir you up, or gradually exhaust you. But they didn't see your clear vision, calm and sharp. You weren't playing their game. While they schemed in plain view, you felt what was hidden. You didn't need proof. Your spirit already knew the truth. This is why they stayed confused. You didn't react as they hoped because you weren't acting from their level. You didn't react from ego. You acted with profound insight. You picked your words carefully. You protected your inner stillness with intent. You left situations not from fright, but because you already saw what was ahead. That isn't fear, my child. That is knowing. The enemy tried to catch you in traps, but you always bypassed the snares he was sure would trip you. That was not random chance. It was divinely given understanding. You no longer questioned yourself. You let people show their true nature. You didn't argue. You didn't reveal their flaws. You simply watched, shifted your path, and moved past it. This is what bewildered them. They looked for a fight. You brought understanding. They looked for chaos. You made space. They looked for frailty. You showed insight. And as they wore themselves out trying to stir you, you were silently growing. You didn't need to strike back or react quickly or explain every move. You let your inner knowing lead you through their bewilderment. That is why you kept succeeding, even in your quietness. You were never lagging. You were never blind. You were simply precise. You grasped the difficulty before it started, and by the time they knew they couldn't trick you, you had already passed, calm, out of their grasp, triumphant. You walked through what was meant to crush you. The burdens, the grief, the disloyalty, the inner battles of your spirit. All of it aimed to break you entirely, and there was a period when it nearly succeeded. But instead of crumbling, you grew strong. You didn't just get through, you let those moments build you up. Those difficulties didn't just test your emotions. They remade your inner self. They altered how you see others, how you act, how you reason, how you guard your calm. You don't react the same way. You don't fear as you once did. You no longer seek outside comfort as before. That old self, easily disturbed, easily influenced, easily hurt, is gone. Now the very troubles that once overwhelmed you don't even move you. You have faced too much to shrink from what isn't truly important. You were tested to your core, and through every moment of struggle, every surrender, every isolated hour, you didn't merely persist, you evolved. That is why their efforts against you no longer sting. Those who knew you before still look for your frailties, but those old weak spots are gone. They are still seeing your past, not knowing you've been made stronger by difficulty. You had to face parts of yourself you kept hidden. You had to feel pain others would flee, but you didn't turn away. You met it, worked through it, and became more because of it. And now, my precious child, you are not just stronger, you are firm. Not because you lack feeling, but because you comprehend. You have witnessed the hardest. You have known the lowest points. You understand what shadows are, so you no longer fear them. You move through it differently, with clear vision, with inner knowing, with calm strength. That is what others don't get. They see your peace and call it conceit. They see your quietness and call it haughtiness. My child, the hurts that once troubled you no longer hold sway. This is not from a sense of being better than them, but because you moved past them. What aimed to diminish you instead lifted you higher. You stand firm now. Nothing meant to work against you can truly harm you. Others thought your struggles would break you. They imagined their lack of regard, their distance, their mockery, and their misjudgment would cause you to quit. Yes, it caused pain, it unsettled you. It left its reminders. But it did not sour your spirit. It made you insightful. You did not let feelings of disgrace ruin your inner value. You let them guide you to a humble heart. You allowed these moments to remove your need for others' acceptance, your wish to satisfy everyone, and any false sense of control. They revealed your true self when there was nothing to demonstrate and no one to praise you. This deep knowledge of yourself became your solid ground. It was the stable place where you stood when everything else seemed unclear. Many let difficulties make them rigid, but you let yours soften you in helpful ways. Not into frailty, but into deeper understanding. You no longer sought to be favored. You ceased trying to gain admiration. You gave up chasing what exhausted your spirit. You faced your hurt and let it direct you. You quietly reformed your inner self. You chose not to seek outside recognition from this experience. You chose to emerge complete. Your efforts were not for show. They came from a place of genuine meaning. You did not seek to strike back. You sought to mend your spirit. You were not focused on showing others they were mistaken. You focused on becoming the most restored, stable, and authentic version of yourself, and that is what made your achievement so significant. This success is not flashy. It is not about getting even. It is about how you truly ascended. It is about how you found calm amidst disorder. You were so focused on your own progress that small disputes could not pull your attention away. The truth is, my beloved child, if you had reacted with arrogance, your success would have been brief. But because you allowed those times to make you modest, you found a lasting calm. That is why the blessings you now receive are permanent. They are not based on ego, but on real change within you. Now, as things become clear, people are surprised. They thought they had covered you in disgrace. You did not look for special access, nor did you try to impress for notice. While others made noise to gain approval, you gave yourself to quiet internal effort, finding equilibrium, healing, advancing, ascending. While others chased external praise, you cultivated a calm power that could uphold any genuine aim. Your focus was on being real, not on being seen. Because of this, nothing felt strained. Your clear aim and direction brought things to you naturally. Chances began to find you. You are not fighting to fit in. You are attracting the settings that truly align with who you are. This came not from luck or detailed schemes, my child, but from releasing your grip. You stopped chasing what felt incorrect. You stopped trying to push yourself into situations where you were not valued. In that peaceful surrender, your inner calm returned. My child, your quiet attention to these words reveals a heart ready for deeper truth. You have walked this journey with me, listening not with your ears alone, but with the very core of your spirit. Now, let this message resonate again within you. Your engagement in this sacred work allows my wisdom to reach those who also navigate their quiet battles, searching for the very calm you have found. Your continued support is a vital thread in this unfolding design, ensuring the next message I have prepared finds its way to all who are ready. Remain steadfast, my beloved child. I am with you always, guiding your steps, revealing insights, and deepening your peace. Return for deeper understanding, and know that my unwavering favor rests upon you, guarding your spirit as you continue to rise. You are cherished, and your journey of quiet triumph is just beginning.